Hi everyone, this is Christine Josty from Mail Something Pretty, and I wanted to show you this really beautiful card. I'm going to actually show you a couple variations of it, but I'm calling it a 4-panel card. I don't really know what else to call it because there's 4 panels. If you think of another name, let me know because it doesn't really make a shape. But it's a fun card. And I also made a coordinating bookmark that I put inside the card, so when they open it, they can have a little piece of it with them all the time. And I'll show you what my inspiration was. One of my team members, Carol, made this card for my birthday a couple years ago, and she did it all in the ombre with a rich raspberry, and it's so pretty just like that. And so I just really liked it. I hadn't seen anything quite like it. So I saved it and I copied it, and this was my first version of it. I made this for my mother's birthday. I just love this Perennial Essence Designer Series paper that just came out, and it coordinates so nicely with the, I think it's called the Noble Peacock specialty paper. And same thing, I gave her a bookmark, so I know she loves to read, and that was the card that I made her. And I was going to make it for my club, and I knew I didn't have enough of this paper, but I did have enough of the Magnolia paper, so this is what we made, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So I wanted to show you how to make it. Okay, so I'm going to put the measurements here. Again, I was calling it a 4-panel card. The base of the card is 5.5 by 11, so you can only get 1 card per sheet of paper. But then you can use some of the leftovers for your bookmark, which I actually didn't write those measurements down, but I'll figure it out. So I did the base in black. So this is my 5.5 by 11. And I'm going to take my scoreboard out. And I'm going to score it at 1 1/4, 4, and then 6 3/4. And that's all the scoring that you need. Okay, so I'll put this aside. And then I already pre-cut my, oh, that's the bookmark. I already pre-cut my, the panels of paper. So I'll show you. Where is it? Both the green and the black are the same measurement. They are 5 1/4 by 1. And on this one, I used the same. But for my club, I knew I didn't have enough of that, so I used the black. And this is nice. The black is in the annual catalog, and it was for Halloween last year, but they brought it back. And I love that they brought it back because I think it's really classy. All right, so. And then these two are the same size, so that's 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then you can flip them or however you want to order them. And then the panel here, that's one I didn't remember, that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I will have all the measurements on my website, so be sure to go there and see it there. All right, so now it's really mostly kind of just assembly. Oh, and then the greeting, and again, you can put anything there. Carol had put a nice flower, you can put whatever. I loved this saying from the Rustic Retreat stamp set. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you know, by A.A. Milne, who we all know. Wrote Winnie the Pooh. So I cut those out of the rectangle stitch thinlits, which I didn't bring over here to show you, but you figure out, what size fits on. But what I wanted to show you was, I don't know if you can see, the whole thing is shiny. So when I was making my mother's, I didn't have the blue embossing powder. So I had to think. So what I did is I stamped it with the Blueberry Bushel, or is that Night of Navy? It might be Night of Navy, ink. And then I put embossing powder over the whole thing, so it's shiny, which mimics the shininess of that too. So I'm going to just show you how to do that. I know there's black embossing powder, so I could have just embossed it with black, but I just thought this was kind of a cool technique. And the same thing is on the bookmark too, so it will last. Okay. So I need to put my stamp on a block. These are those cling stamps that are super sticky. And I used Memento black ink because you can use any black ink for this, but I ended up stamping on the inside with my blend, so I just used the same black ink. Okay, I'm just going to do, well, maybe I'll stamp it on and get it darker. Okay, they're about the same. Okay, I'm looking for my Versamark, which that I may not have brought over. Okay, I need to unplug myself for a quick second because that is vitally important. So sorry if I just caused some funny noise with the microphone, but I needed to get the Versamark. Okay. Normally when we emboss, we use the embossing buddy so we don't get oil, so we don't get powder where we don't want it, but it kind of doesn't matter in this one because we want to have the powder stick everywhere. So one way to do it is to just go on top, but since my paper is almost the same size as my ink pad, I want to make sure I get it all, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm just going to smush it down. Okay, so I want that whole thing to get embossing powder on it, and then I know I had tweezers. Yeah, you could use your fingers, but I'm just going to use tweezers to take it off. So the whole thing is covered in sticky embossing powder. And then I'm going to use my clear embossing powder and cover it all. Well, hi. So I realized yesterday when I was going to post this video, my camera shut off right after we were working on embossing our little label here. I don't know why it shut off, and it doesn't alert me. So I went and finished the card, and then lo and behold, my video stopped. So I just want to go over, really most of the card was done. I just want to go over what I did. So I had put I put the Versamark all over the whole piece here, and then I used my heating tool to heat it, and so all the powder, and I don't know if you can, with the lighting, if you can see, the whole thing is shiny. It's kind of a nice little, it's almost like laminated. It's a nice little look that mimics the shininess of the card here. And so then to complete the card, I adhered the little piece here to the black. And then the only other really big tip I want to give you is when I put this part onto the card, I put some twine or linen thread around here. I did a little double ring and a simple bow, but I put the sticky strip right here, or the not sticky strip, the tear and tape on this part, and then that's what I adhered it to on the card because it's a little stronger, and when you're opening the card, that's what you're picking, so you don't want it to come off. So that's a little tip. And the other thing I did on the inside on that white panel is I stamped a flower that mimics the magnolia paper, and I want to show you where I got that because it's not really in the catalog. They have this stamp set called Magnolia Blooms, which is a smaller version of this stamp set. So this is the Magnolia, Good Morning Magnolia, which is a really large stamp set, and it's beautiful. But what Stampin' Up! Did is they came out with a beginner's brochure, because if someone is totally brand new and they see this, it's a bit overwhelming because where do you start? I want everything, and your head is spinning, you don't know where to start. So they came out with this beginner's brochure. So it's a much smaller brochure, but in here they have this set, which is the one I used, called Magnolia Bloom. So you can see it has a lot of the same feeling together. It's just a bit smaller and more manageable. So it's Anyone can order it. You don't have to be a beginner, but it's in the beginner brochure, or you can just look it up online, called Magnolia Blooms, right on the online store. If anyone wants a beginner brochure or even just a regular catalog, please let me know and I can get one to you. But I just wanted to show you that. So I stamped it in my Blends ink, and not Blends ink, Memento ink. And I used my Blends markers, and I labeled this one Blends, so I know that this is the ink I use for my Blends markers. And then I just did a quick coloring, and really that is it. So to recap once again, this is the card I made. We're using the Magnolia paper in the Rustic Retreat stamp set. And I hope you like it. It's a fun card. It's really not that hard, but it looks really impressive. So be sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try to post a video every week, as well as my email list. I send emails out once a week as well with lots of tips and tutorials and extra information that's good to know. And you can do all of that at mailsomethingpretty.com. Thanks so much for watching. This is Christine. See you next time.